media right now on WURD Radio, 96.1 FM and 900 AM WURD. Independent Black Media.
On nights like this I ride, turn the music up to keep from crying. Wait till that sunshine. Please don't let the darkness keep me low. Halfway to the home base, yeah. Like a field trip, whoa. It's a real trip. And over your head, it's a guilt trip, yeah. To the south side, wow. It's a real trip. It's not a quick trip. It stays with ya, with ya. Love taxes, it's a real trip. On nights like this I ride, turn the music up to keep from crying. Wait till the sunshine. Please don't let the darkness keep me low. Halfway to the home base, yeah. Like a field trip, whoa. It's a real trip. I'm asking who can save me? You can't, baby. You can't, baby. Who can save me? Know that you can't, baby. You could, baby. We'll be riding, trying to conquer the world, but darling. Kiss the back of my neck bone. Oh. Make it hot like Louisiana. Shoot, that's so good.
Sweet like sweet potato pie, like collard greens and yams on the side. I'm full from top to the bottom, and this ain't no lie. I'm hot like Mississippi, burning in the middle of July. And I'm saying, whoa, 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 soulful love, whoa, whoa. You got me saying, whoa, 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 sip me up like lemonade from a mason jar. Make it good like some chicken fried in a pan of lard. I'm getting spoiled like the beans, and I can't lose my head. 'Cause when you're not around, I'm crumbling like cornbread. Like whoa, soulful love. You got me saying whoa, 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 whoa. Talking about soulful love. I'm talking about soulful love. I'm hungry for love. I'm hungry. Saying I'm hungry now. Feed me, say I'm getting hungry now. I'm getting hungry now.
safe space with Sincerely Sarita. Right now on WURD Radio. 96.1 FM and 900 AM WURD. Independent Black Media.
In my own home, I live in my paper. The absence becomes me. A reticent specter. You're told, oh, happiness isn't your goal. Oh, why don't you do as you're told? Oh, happiness isn't your goal. I'm not just a boy, I'm a man. I'm not just a man, I'm a god. I'm not just a god, I'm a maker. No country for crazy. But thank you for asking. My markings and makings belong in the trash bin. Oh, why don't you do as you're told? Oh, happiness isn't your goal. I'm not just a boy, I'm a man. I'm not just a man, I'm a god. I'm not just a god, I'm a maker. Mind your maker. Have you ever seen anything quite like this? Have you ever known anything quite like this? Have you ever been anything quite like this? Have you ever known anything quite like this? Oh, why don't you do as you're told? Oh, happiness isn't your goal.
Ever seen anything?
Oh, why don't you do as you're told?
Ever seen anything?
Oh, happiness isn't your goal. I'm not just a boy, I'm a man. I'm not just a man, I'm a god. I'm not just a god, I'm a maker. Mind your maker. Have you ever seen anything quite like this? Have you ever known anything quite like this?
Space with Sincerely Sarita. Sincerely Sarita. Right now on WURD Radio. 96.1 FM and 900 AM WURD. Independent Black Media.
Let me get a track just to make sure I'm... Turn me up a little bit more. Yeah. 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 Yeah.
Baby, keep on turning me up. Yeah. Baby, keep on turning me up. Yeah, yeah, yeah. He is just the man. So many things you do. That keeps on turning me up. Yeah, yeah, yeah. Keep doing that thing you're doing to me. That sweet little thing you're doing to me, babe. Yeah, 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 yeah. It's just the plan. So many things you do that keeps on turning me up. Yeah, yeah. Sometimes it makes me want to say, baby, keep on turning me on. Yeah, yeah. Baby, keep on turning me on. Oh, oh. It's just the plan. So many little things you do that keeps on turning me on. Yeah, yeah. Yeah. Music take me away. Music take me away. Oh, oh, oh.
COVID-19 has highlighted the need for digital equity and internet adoption programs. Comcast's Internet Essentials program is designed to connect families to low-cost, high-speed internet and laptops so students can be ready for anything. Since 2011, Comcast has connected 4 million students from low-income families to the internet through its Internet Essentials program. Learn more about how Internet Essentials is connecting students.
Did you know you can use LIHEAP to pay your PICO bill? Last year, PICO customers received almost $17 million in free LIHEAP support. This year, take advantage. This deal is first come, first served. Apply now. Call 800-34-HELP-4.
WURD Radio celebrates Women's History Month with the 2021 Level Up Contest. Join us as we embark on a 3-city contest that will highlight Black women-owned businesses who are making a difference in their communities. You can nominate yourself or your favorite Black woman-owned business and enter to win a marketing campaign valued at $5,000. Level Up is a joint production of WURD Radio in Philadelphia, WVON in Chicago, and KJLH in Los Angeles. These 3 Black-owned stations are joining forces to host a historic, interactive, and multimedia contest spotlighting Black women-owned businesses in Philly, Chicago, and Los Angeles. The deadline for submissions is March 15th. Philadelphia finalists will be featured in a special 2-hour live on-air pitch party on March 31st, where the Philadelphia winner will be selected. Go to wordradio.com and click on the Level Up banner for more information or to nominate yourself or a Black woman-owned business you love. The 2021 Level Up contest is sponsored by Comcast, Bank of America, PICO, Keystone First, Thomas Jefferson University, and Jefferson Health.
The Black Words Book Club. WURD Radio's new monthly conversation on books that explore the African American experience through social, economic, and environmental justice issues. Tune in the second Tuesday of every month on Evening Words with Nick Taliaferro, 4 p.m. till 7 p.m. For April, WURD Radio is partnering with the Free Library of Philadelphia and showcasing their pick for its annual citywide reading program, One Book, One Philadelphia, entitled The Tradition by Jericho Brown. Be sure to listen live, as Nick Taliaferro will hold a contest for a giveaway book bundle that consists of 4 titles from Kensington's Defina's Authors of Color's newest release. Don't miss it. Tuesday, April 13th on Evening Words with Nick Taliaferro. Attention for WURD members. Get your copy and receive a 20% discount when you purchase at Harriet's Bookstore or Hakeem's Bookstore. For more information on the Black Words Book Club, visit wordradio.com. The Black Words Book Club is sponsored by Defina. Defina is an imprint of Kensington Publishing Corporation, America's independent publisher, concentrating on authors of color. WURD TV. We're streaming live video of this conversation right now. Tune in on YouTube at onWURD or on Facebook at ForWord. WURD TV. Black Talk Media. Save space with Sincerely Sarita. Right now on WURD Radio. 96.1 FM and 900 AM WURD. Independent Black Media.
Hello, loves. This is Safe Space, and I am your host, Sincerely Sarita. Appreciate you all for bearing with us. Tech is trying to start this week off on the wrong foot, but we stay on the good foot, so we rebuke that. Okay, we keeping it moving out here.
Y'all just got a Monday motivation mix. That's all. We just wanted to try something new.
No, we didn't. The tech can go hit somewhere. And we ain't going to lie to these folks. Tech was hating, and we pulled through anyway. And we're going to keep it moving because sometimes that's what you have to do on a Monday. Okay? You got to push through. You got to get it done. And you got to stay ready so you don't have to get ready, even when, you're being thrown curveballs. And that's what we did. And we appreciate y'all for rocking with us through that because we are still in the midst of a pandemic. And, doing remote broadcasting from wherever we may be across Philly or wherever any host may be at any given point. So, we're just thankful that y'all rock with us. Hopefully you enjoyed the music. Your Monday is off to a great start. It's a bit more chilly, I can tell you that much, than it was in the past few days. I don't know what happened. I guess Mother Nature decided to switch up on us. But, you can change your mind. It happens at times. Clearly, Tech changed his mind today on us, but we keeping it moving, right? Today is Monday, March 15th, 2021, a perfect day to turn our intentions into action through conversation. And shout out to all the folks, all of you who have been waiting patiently and ready to do just that. Those of you tuned in on 96.1 FM and 900 AM, streaming Word TV on wordradio.com and Facebook Live and YouTube and Twitch and all that good stuff. And of course, everyone who's listening in crystal clear on the free Word app, which is available in the Apple app and Google Play Store. So do make sure you download that. If you are tuned in on Word TV via Facebook Live, this would be the optimal time to tap the share button or start a watch party. Bring your folks on board because we're here. We're live in full effect. Y'all know we don't just save space. We take it up. We own some. We do all that and more, especially in these internet streets. A very happy Women's History Month Women's History Month to you. As we start this week, I get to come bearing some good news, right? The deadline for our Level Up Contest nomination, or nominations, I should say, has been extended to this Friday, March 19th. Okay, so do not play, y'all. If you know a Black woman who is an entrepreneur or innovator, or if that is you, get your nomination in now. You can self-nominate or, you can nominate someone else. We want to celebrate Black women-owned businesses in honor of Women's History Month. And I'm going to keep it 100 with y'all. Judging by the number of nominations we received, it's clear that you all want to celebrate Black women-owned businesses too, which is super dope. After hearing how many nominations we received today, I was a bit surprised that we were even doing an extension. But what it ultimately said to me is that the station is serious about connecting with and celebrating as many Black women entrepreneurs and innovators as possible. I shared a week or so ago that I think we should be able to easily reach like 100 nominations. And we round there. So let's do this thing, shall we? Head to wordradio.com or wordworks.com to cast your nomination today. And speaking of nominations, child, a lot of nominees at the Grammys this weekend became bona fide winners last night, honey. I don't know if you tuned in for music's biggest night, but if you did, call in and let me know your reactions to the performances, the wins, the fashion. Shout out to Mother, aka Andrea Lawful Sanders, who hosts The Source throughout the week. Usually with any award show, she takes to her Facebook and will post pictures and give reviews of various folks' fashions. And if you follow her, you know that is always going to be some commentary, okay? And so I got to check out some of her reviews on the red carpet fashions of yesterday, and it was hilarious, as only she could deliver. But I want to hear from y'all. If you tuned in, do call in and let me know what you thought of it. 215-634-8065. You can also call in toll free 866-361-0900. I did get to watch and quite a few highlights for me. Okay, first and foremost, Lil Baby, okay, a rapper, right? His performance was so dope. I loved it. I literally was like, me and Bae were actually sitting in the car watching his performance, trying to catch whatever we could, as we were on the move. But we ended up sitting in the car, not getting out, watching the entire performance because it was that good. It was a political performance, to say the least. He was joined by Killer Mike and activist Tamika Mallory. And y'all, if you get a chance to YouTube it, please do, to Google it, whatever you need to do. Please do check out that performance. And if you have any, like, younger folks in your life, I would say, like, watch it with them and ask them what they thought about it. He performed this song, The Bigger Picture, which is one of my, like, 2020 favorite songs for sure. And it's really a statement. And he says it in a song that it's bigger than black and white. It's a problem with the whole way of life. You can't change overnight. You might as well go on ahead, start here. We didn't had a heck of a year. He does not say heck, but we had a heck of a year. And it was timeless. It was necessary. It was that and so much more. So that alone for me was like, okay, Grammys clearly are trying to get it together here. Because there's been a lot of criticism with the Grammys, and number one, how they do not, or historically have not, really respected the contributions of Black music, and specifically hip hop, to the music industry and to the culture in general. And I just felt like I have not seen a Grammys quite like this. It was very cultured. There were a lot of us represented and winning, and on the stages and so much more. So I was glad I got to catch it. Beyonce made history, right? The night brought about her 28th win, making her the most decorated woman in Grammy history. So she now ties producer and multi-instrumentalist Quincy Jones for second place among all Grammy winners. She did not only make history, actually her whole family did. Okay. Jay-Z picked up his 23rd Grammy, sharing the best rap song with Beyonce, his wife. He co-wrote Savage. And then their daughter, 9-year-old Blue Ivy Carter, who won Best Music Video alongside her mom, became the youngest act to win a Grammy in the show's 63-year history. And then we also had her, who won Song of the Year. Y'all know that's our girl. We love her. Megan Thee Stallion, who won 3 honors, and she also made history, became the first female rapper to win Best Rap Song. She's also the 5th, I believe, rap-based act to win Best New Artist. Who else? Country singer Mickey Guyton was the first Black woman nominated for Best Country Solo Performance. She did an awesome job with her live performance of her song Black Like Me, which she dropped last year. It was just, for me, a great night. It was a great night for music, and specifically for Black music. I know Lizzo won. Tiffany Haddish, she won. And what was it? I want to say comedy album. I'm going to have to double check. Forgive me, y'all. But apparently a Black woman hasn't won in that category since 1986. And the last person to win was Whoopi Goldberg. And they have a very special relationship. They've also had an on-camera mother-daughter acting opportunity. We had Lettucey, who won, PJ Morton, Nas. All of these folks were winners. And it just was a great night. And shout out to DJ Spinderella. She won a Lifetime Achievement Award for the Grammys as well. So just dope all around. And so, yeah, if you called in, please do let me know your thoughts, your reactions. 215-634-8065. Again, 215-634-8065. You can also call in toll free, 866-361-0900. Again, 866-361-0900. It is Motivation Monday. So if you want to call in and let me know what's motivating you this week, please do. I want to check in with my girl. You already heard from her, but we're going to do an official check-in with Kayla J, holding down the phone lines, the board, and everything in between. And today it was a lot of in between, y'all, but we got it done. So Kayla J, how are you, love? How was your weekend, since we didn't get to do an official check-in? And look, she probably behind the scenes doing something right now. That's clearly the case. Clearly the case. So with that said, I'm going to keep moving in.
I'm sorry, what'd you say? Because I was behind the scenes answering the phone.
I know you. I figured because I know you holding everything down right now. I was just checking in with you, boo, seeing how you doing. How was your weekend?
Listen, it was good. My weekend was straight. I rested a lot.
What? Kayla J rested.
I took a midday nap on the couch.
Ooh, the best of them. You know, that's good when you can get a midday nap in. That's not you can't that's not often. That's not often that you can get that. Yes,
Yeah.
yes. Well, that's good. That's good. I'm glad you got that. What's motivating you this week?
Y'all know what's motivating me. 28 on the 28th.
Give us our fun fact. Give us our fun fact because Kayla J is turning 28 on the 28th of this month. So she's been dropping fun facts pretty much every show, but she does it every day, like over on her Instagram. If you follow her at Kayla J, that's Kala J _ music nerd. But what's the fun fact for today?
I don't eat hot dogs and I don't eat peanut butter at all.
Wow. Okay. I guess I could see that. I
I have a
mean,
strong hate for both of them.
that's so strong. That sounds strong. You put strong in the description. Why?
They're nasty.
Uh,
Simple
okay,
as that.
now
They're nasty. I haven't eaten it since I was a kid. They tried. I said no.
just said no. That's not it.
That's not it. I've
Just
tried
not
hot dogs every way. People try to sneak it into my food. I still know. People try to trick me with peanut butter. I still know. I know. I be knowing.
So not the hot dogs and the baked beans. You don't.
I don't eat beans either. I hate beans.
Ooh, okay. Strong. Wow. All right. I'm gonna leave that there. I'm gonna not even go any further with that one because I love me some good baked beans.
Nah.
Anywho,
Y'all got
anyhow.
that.
I'm gonna leave that where it's at and respect that. I do want to shout out because this weekend, I guess I got some rest in, but I also, more importantly, got to go out and support another Black-owned business. Shout out to Marsh in Maine, down in South Philly, right off of South Street. Myself and my daughters went there, and child, first of all, I need to remember to not go to hair stores or like anything of the sort with my children. I need to just go by myself because we was in there just the more I was carrying around my basket, it's just I just see it filling up, and we all in it and having a good time. And next thing you know, Tab was ridiculous, but it was all supporting the Black business, having a good time. But they, Marsh and Maine, just number one is Black woman owned. Shout out to Level Up Contest. Go to wordradio.com and nominate yourself or nominate a Black woman entrepreneur that you know. But it's a Black woman-owned business, and they had all of the products that we love, and then some. They was putting us on to new stuff, so it was very easy for our basket to fill up very quickly. But it was so worth it. My wash day was the best. I actually got to take some time to love up on my curls and all of that good stuff. We got some really great products, whether it was hair or, just even styling products and whatever else the case may be. So I want to shout out Marsh and Maine. That's MARSH and Maine, MANE. They're located at 529 South 4th Street. Again, 529 South 4th Street if you want to support Black women-owned beauty supply store. Right out there. And it's beautiful. Oh my gosh, the aesthetic, all of that is just so dope. And so I shared a little bit of, some behind the scenes of our shopping experience over on my Instagram stories. But it was just, it was nice to be able to support and to just get some really high quality products that I have not been able to find in other beauty supply stores. So shout out to us knowing what we need. It was beautiful. So appreciate that. That was a good time. A not so great time was the fact that the weekend also marked the anniversary of the murder of Breonna Taylor. And there were a lot of pictures of Breonna that were shared on social media, and, just sending the message of say her name, because justice has not been served in her case and in far too many other cases. But I came across a video of Breonna, and she's with her friends, I guess, friends and family. I'm not sure who all the individuals were in the video, just having a good time, a song playing in the background. It's clear they were, turning up, having a good time or whatever. But that was the first time I've ever seen her alive and on video. Everything has been a picture or a poster or something like that. The video hit different. This was a human being. This was a young Black woman who, y'all know, had dreams and was on this, this great journey to fulfilling those dreams, manifesting her best life and all these other things, flawed just like the rest of us and whatever else the case may be, a human being. And seeing her alive and with her friends and smiling and, mouthing the words to lyrics, and it just, it was a lot to see. And I cannot imagine what her family has had to navigate for the past year without her here physically. I've said it plenty of times before on the show. I'm going to keep saying it. The best thing that we can do is continue to apply pressure. I know even with that, there's always this kind of negotiation or navigating how to hold space for your joy and also save space for, revolutionary acts or standing up and whatever else the case may be. It doesn't have to be an either or, right? You take care of yourself, even as you hold the world accountable, hold society accountable for the justice that needs to take place for our community, and those who are, beyond it, just a part of the human family, right? But it was something. It was something to see her just alive and living her life. And that anniversary happened at the same time that there were new developments with George Floyd, right, with his case. There was, I gotta go to break. But there was, I guess, what we would say a bit of history that was made in his case, and that being that there was a let me get myself together. this is a lot, but the development being that the defense attorney for the former Minneapolis police officer, Derek Chauvin, who has been charged with George Floyd's murder, recently asked for the judge to delay the trial that is now underway because the announcement by the city of a record $27 million settlement for Floyd's family could make a fair trial impossible, right? So we're going to see how this plays out, but that settlement was announced by the city of Minneapolis last Friday, and the criminal trial of Chauvin, of course, is quite a bit to be playing out at the same time, but nonetheless, it is what it is. This is the first time, I believe, at least for Minneapolis, that a settlement has come before the criminal trial. So that's why that's why his attorney is attempting to make this argument. So with this weekend, this was quite a bit on the social justice front. Quite a bit. Not much to necessarily rejoice about because $27 million for the life of George Floyd doesn't in any way replace the life of George Floyd, right? Like he's still not here in the physical sense, right? His family is still mourning. There was still acts of systemic racism and white supremacy and all of these things, police brutality, that led to the fact of why he's not here today. So no amount of money is ever going to be able to replace that, whether it's a record-making amount or not. The truth is he's not here and there's still no justice. And a settlement does not equal justice, period. But anyhow, I need to go to break. Y'all can call in 215-634-8065. You can also call in toll free 866-361-0900. You're listening to Safe Space on WURD Radio. I'm your host, Sincerely Sarita, and we'll be back after these messages.
Okay, Her's new fire potato chips and cheese curls, they are spicy. Whew, they're hottest snacks yet. Hold on. Whew. But you know, it's not just heat. There's some nice sweet and savory stuff going on too. Ooh, there's that heat again. It burns, but it burns so tasty. Ooh, that's hot. Find Her's Fire Snacks at your store today. Whew. Taste the flavor, feel the heat, break out the Her's.
If you understand the value of doing business with a company that values its clients, remember this name, Heat and Air Guys. At Heat and Air Guys, we give our clients extra value by offering lots of ways to make their lives easier. Like financing for your installation. You get 18 months, no interest, no payments, 10-year parts and labor warranties, service on all makes and models, seasonal tune-ups, all offered by skilled, reliable technicians who value the opportunity to be of service to you. Call Heat and Air Guys at 610-583-3207.
Save Space with Sincerely Sarita. Right now on WURD Radio. 96.1 FM and 900 AM WURD. Independent Black Media.
Sidewalk when I finally lay my eyes on you, someone I've already loved. Will you find your way out of the blue? Will it be my flat or your apartment? When I finally realize I do, will we meet on Baker Street? We'll find ourselves on Melrose Avenue. I don't know who you are, but I'll save you a seat. Hang my coat on a chair next to me. I try to reassure the waiter, say you're down the street. He loved me, so here's to you. The most beautiful thing that I have never seen.
You're back listening to Safe Space on WURD Radio, 96.1 FM, 900 AM. I'm going to give you one quick update, and then I'm going to bring in Kayla J to talk about something that I saw trending on social media this weekend. So first, this is also kind of, I guess, a primer for tomorrow's show, right? So last week, we had Ernest Owens on of Philadelphia Magazine. He's editor-at-large for Philadelphia Magazine. He's also president of the Philadelphia Association of Black Journalists. And I know quite a few of you were tuned in and listening. And, you know, as we always do, Thursdays at 8 p.m. with Ernest, we end up getting into a conversation about a op-ed that, an opinion piece that was published in the Philadelphia Inquirer by a WURD radio host, Amadi Braxton. Ernest had some sharp criticism for that op-ed, and we were able to, you know, have a conversation about that, his feelings, You can go back to our Facebook Live from the show last Thursday to kind of get the full context and, understanding of it. But literally in the midst of that conversation, I reached out to Amadi, which I also commented on air that I wanted to make sure I brought her on the show so that she had an opportunity that was very much deserved, at least on this show in particular, since the op-ed had been brought up on this show in particular, to talk a bit about that and to provide more context about what she wrote, why she wrote it, and her perspective. The op-ed focused on the Black Doctors Consortium here in Philly and her experience with getting vaccinated, right, with going through their process of getting vaccinated. It's been received with mixed reviews, right? Some folks absolutely do not agree with some of the criticism that she had or shared in regards to not only the Black Doctors Consortium, but to the city, right? And then also some who identify with her experience. Ernest fell on the side of criticism with her take, her perspective on the Black Doctors Consortium and her approach with the op-ed and where the focus was at, right, on the Black Doctors Consortium versus the city. And that's not necessarily her take. And so I reached out to her, recognizing that we had a very public conversation about this, and she was not a part of it, right? Because that's just kind of how the conversation unfolded. But once I recognized that this was something, number one, to his point, his own acknowledgement that was triggering for him, I needed to make sure that she had an opportunity to be able to speak on why she wrote the op-ed and why she has the perspective and position that she took on it. So she will be joining us tomorrow at 8 p.m. on the show so that we can discuss her op-ed and take any questions that you all may have for her. If you haven't already had the chance to check out the op-ed, I would ask that if you have any interest in calling in, you make sure you're home and you go read first, right? Go read the op-ed, check it out. And so she's going to be on tomorrow, again, 8 p.m. Amadi Braxton. She is a WURD host. And so that's another reason why I wanted to make sure we got her on to be able to talk a bit about this. So I am looking forward to that conversation. We actually had a check-in call today just to kind of let her know what unfolded and follow up on my initial email to her. So I am looking forward to that conversation and hope you will join us for it. So make sure, if you need to set your reminder or whatever else the case may be, you do that. Again, tomorrow, 8 p.m., Amadi Braxton will be joining us. But I want to switch gears just a bit because I think I got maybe a minute. We might go over. Kayla J, text me, let me know how we need to maneuver through this because I'm seeing someone's face that I have been seeing up and down my timeline on social media because last night was a big night. We were just talking about the Grammys and all that, right? And the Grammys, the wins was hitting home for Philly, y'all. Okay, Philly was winning at the Grammys. I want to shout out Jermaine Dolly, who was featured on PJ Morton's on his album. And then, I had mentioned a little earlier that Kanye West had won. He won a Grammy for, I believe it was Best Gospel Contemporary Album. And it was a Philly folk on that as well. And the Philly folk was Darius Coleman, who I believe is joining us now. So Darius, first of all, hello, love. Thank you so much for choosing a safe space with us. And also, congratulations. How are you? You might be mute. You might be muted because, technology don't be trying to let us be great out here.
Oh, wait. Can you hear me now?
Yes, I can. There you go.
Okay,
there you go.
Awesome. Well, thank you so much, first and foremost, for having me on. Thank you for the congratulations. It's been crazy. There's been so much happening. Of course, as you can imagine, it's been like a lot of phone calls and text and
Yeah.
all kinds of stuff with people just kind of wishing me well and congratulations. And so it's been a beautiful experience. It was very, very unexpected, but a blessing nonetheless, and I'm incredibly grateful for it. So. Yeah, it's still kind of sinking in that that I get to add like Grammy Award winning to the front of my title. The funniest thing is I've had several people texting me like, I'm changing your name in my phone to Grammy Award winning Darius
Right.
Coleman, and I'm like, y'all gotta chill, y'all doing too
No, no, they don't have to chill because you are Grammy Award winning and you did that. Darius is a singer, songwriter, just super multi-talented. I saw Jaleel, right? I saw he posted about your win, and he shared a bit of kind of, I guess, a behind-the-scenes story of how the night you were, I believe it was the night, correct me at any point if I'm wrong, but I believe the night that you were supposed to go to the studio to link up with Kanye, you, I guess, may have contacted him and was like, you had this previous commitment. Should I go? What should I do? And he was like, you better go to Calabasas and get in the studio with Kanye.
No, that is kind of how it went. I was in a session actually, and I got a call. It was a Sunday, and I feel bad because in LA, like, when you commit to a commitment, you try to keep your word. And so I had made a commitment to a session. It was on a Sunday. I remember that specifically. And I was in the session and I get a phone call and I step out and they're like, hey, Kanye would like you to come to the studio. And I'm like, okay, when? And they're like, now-ish. And I'm like, now? I'm in a session right now. And they're like, yeah, well, Kanye would like you to come. And I'm like, oh, right. So I'm talking to the people that I was in the session with, and I'm like, guys, I'm so sorry. And it's so funny because every time I get with this particular group of people, something comes up every time. Like every time. It's always I have to leave early or I have to whatever. And I'm just like, oh my God, here we go again. And so I go into the session and I'm like, y'all, I'm so sorry. Like, I think I might have to leave. And they're like, well, what's up? And I'm like, well, Kanye just called and asked if I could come to the studio. And all of them looked at me and they're like, and why are you still here? So I had called my brother in the meantime. Like after I got the phone call to go, I called my brother and I was like, bro, I'm in a session right now. I don't know if I should go. He was just like, nah, go. And I was like, well, I just, I have certain reservations. Like, you hear certain things about how difficult it is to work with certain people and blah, 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 blah. And, I had no personal experience in the studio with Kanye up until that point. And so I'm just like, I don't really know, like, am I best suited for this particular project? Like, I'm not a rapper, obviously. Like, I don't really know what it is that he might want from me. But at the same token, I was kind of just like, all right, well, I'm gonna just go and see what comes of it. And next thing you know, here we are, this album that comes out, and from the album, we end up getting a Grammy, and that was certainly in God's plan, but I had no idea that was what was coming around the corner. So
yeah,
here we are.
Yeah, well, congratulations once again. And did you know at the time that you were going in to that studio session what the project was or what your role would be with it?
I had no idea. All I knew was they said come, and I said okay. I had no clue what I was going to do, how I was going to contribute. I didn't even know what I was being requested for, to be honest with you. I was just like, maybe he wants me to sing something. Maybe he wants me to write something. I didn't know. But I showed up. I remember getting to the house and everyone was in the middle of dinner. And I got there and, he introduced me to Kim. And he was like, you know, did you eat already? And I was like, well, no, I was actually in another session. I just like left and came here. He was like, well, you know, get something to eat. And so I grabbed a plate.
I'm a fat kid, so what was y'all eating though? Because I do.
Well, so actually, he had he had a chef there from, I want to say, from Benihana, and so it was like a little Benihana situation. So it was like what do you call it, Korean barbecue.
Mm-hmm.
It was delicious, by the way. But I digress.
Thank you. You know my heart.
And and so from that point, we went inside after dinner. He played me what was pre-existing on the album and was kind of like, you know, this is the general direction, and I would love for you to contribute. And I was like, okay, cool, I'm here. And from that point forward, I think I pulled up to the studio again, like consistently for, I want to say maybe close to 2 weeks, just kind of coming and working on stuff. And, you know, as you can imagine, songs get workshopped, especially when you're dealing with an artist like Kanye, who never settles for average. You know, he wants everything to be great. And so it was a lot of like back and forth with, you know, trying different versions and approaches to the same beat, and having multiple people work on different ideas and kind of like bouncing ideas from room to room to see, you know, what it was like in this room versus this room. And then we would hear that one and be like, oh, well, what if we took that and put it with this part? And so it was a lot of just like, I call it like Frankensteining it, you know what I'm saying? Like putting all of these different dynamics together. But at the end of the day, thankfully, you know, it made the album, the songs that I worked on. So what a blessing.
Wow. Yeah. I mean, how do you go about deciding what project you do or don't work on, right? Because you kind of spoke a little earlier to, you know, getting this call, you know, knowing there are already conversations, media headlines, opinions about Kanye, about his work and all of these other things, his, you know, just from personal to professional. How for you, like, not even how, what was that process like for you in deciding whether this was a project that aligned with you, especially going in and not knowing what you were actually showing up for?
No, for sure. I mean, that's a very valid question. I think for me in the moment of decision was really about, I'll go and see what it's hitting for. And if it doesn't align with what I believe and kind of what I feel comfortable with, then it'll be a pass for me. And then if it does, we'll figure it out. You know, I thought about it and I prayed about it on my way there. And I was just kind of like, all right, God, if you're opening this door of opportunity, there's clearly a reason why you want me in this space, even though I have no clue why I'm going to do a session with Kanye West right now. Like, I must have something in me that that you want to be used. And the interesting thing is there's a message that Stephen Furtick preaches, and he basically says in this message, like, God doesn't ask anything from you that he hasn't already deposited in you. And the only reason he asks for it from you is because he knows it's already there. And so when I was driving there, I was kind of reminded of those words, like, hey, I don't know why you're bringing me to this place, but obviously there's something in me that you've already deposited that I can bring value to this space in some way. And so to fully answer your question in terms of how I select projects that I work on, it's really about, do I feel like I can bring value to the situation? I know that I possess a specific set of skills that are best suited for certain things, and some of them are really, really like right up my alley, and some of them are a little bit of a detour and kind of require me to venture into some spaces that are new for me. But at the end of the day, I always trust God, and I'm like, yo, if you've put me in this position, it's for a reason. And while I may not know exactly why I'm here, you put something in me that you're calling out now. And so I'm going to show up, I'm going to do my best, and trust that my best is enough.
Yeah. So have you ever worked on for those who may be meeting you for the first time, and loves, if you're just tuning in, I am chatting with, now we can say, Grammy award winning singer and songwriter, Darius Coleman.
I like that.
Right. Darius Coleman, who last night won a Grammy for his work on Kanye West album, Jesus is King. Um, Darius, have you ever, worked on a gospel album before, be it, through singing or through songwriting, or was this like new in any way for you? Besides, of course, working with Kanye.
It wasn't completely new for me. In as much as I've done some other work previously, in gospel music, but it was years ago. So I haven't written any gospel songs since, I don't even know, probably 2010 maybe.
Wow.
Somewhere back
So
around
over a
there.
decade, roughly
So yeah,
over a decade.
it's been a while since I've written anything gospel. Of course, I grew up in the church, so it was like it was a part of kind of what I did in terms of that, and like maybe like writing some songs that my church sang and stuff like that. Very early in my songwriting career, but since then I hadn't done that. So it was really a blessing for me, honestly. Like when I got a chance to call my parents and tell them the news. For me, I was super proud, because I was just like, wow, like I won my first Grammy doing something for God. And because my faith is so important to me and has been the anchor and the centerpiece of my success up until this point, I'm just like, man, this is dope to have this moment also be something that was like in praise to God. That meant a lot to me.
Yeah. So I know everyone may have not necessarily heard the album and therefore may not have experienced your songwriting capabilities. Is there any lyric in particular that for you was special, or something that you would like be able to share in this moment? Because I'm thinking, like, I want folks to, even if they can't readily identify certain songs or whatever, I want them to get just a taste of the words that you've written, right? Of the spirit, the intention that you brought to this body of work. So is there any particular lyric or song that for you is special, or just holds like kind of a different weight?
Yeah, I mean, I think I would say that the project as a whole, I think, held weight in as much as this was a man who used his platform and his influence to direct people who have never heard of God, who have never stepped foot in a church, who have never even given a thought to the idea of getting to know God in any way. He's opened a door for these people to want to now know God in a way. And I think just seeing it firsthand, with some of the listening parties that were happening, these are kids who were fans of him, who came to hear an album that was about God. And like, we're sharing in this moment together, and people are listening to songs that are in praise to God and singing them at the top of their lungs. And it's like, y'all really don't even know what you're singing necessarily, because you're just singing the songs of a star that you love. But really, those words are starting to seep into you, and they're manifesting. So when we say use this gospel for protection, it's a hard road to heaven. We call on your blessing. In the Father we put our faith. I feel like it's just one of those reminders that like the gospel is your protection. It's your covering. It's the thing that puts you in a position to be in these spaces and these places with people who don't necessarily align with your beliefs. But when you walk into a room and you know that you're covered, it makes all the difference. And so when I enter spaces with artists who I know, God is probably close to the bottom of their list of priorities, I know that I'm walking into a room and I'm covered with something that is greater than me. And the grace of God that's on my life, as I enter into these spaces, people are like, yo, there's something different about you. Like, you it's something about your energy that I'm just drawn to, and I'm like, I know exactly what it is. When people are in darkness, and they experience the light for the first time, they're always drawn to it like a moth to a flame. You know what I'm saying? So it's like, I use that, not in a preachy way, overtly, but I use it as a way to touch people. And when I have conversations with these artists in these sessions, it's like, I don't know what it is. It's just something different about you. You just have such a calm energy. And I'm just like, yeah, well, I'm anchored in something that's bigger than me. And it becomes a gateway for us to have conversations. So yeah, that lyric was impactful for me because it is something I take with me into every session I go into, is that the covering and that protection of the gospel. Because it is a hard road, and especially living in Los Angeles, like, sheesh, you talking about whatever you could think of people are into out here is that real. You know what I'm saying? So you need it.
So, I mean, that's something I definitely wanted to get your take on, because, you hail from Philly, you go out to LA.
Proudly.
Okay. Go out to LA. Pursuing your dreams and looking to manifest and step into all that, your talents, your skills, and your gifts, that room that it will make for you. But I can only imagine what it is like to be in pursuit of that, and to also kind of have your understanding of the music industry be expanded in a very different way, like being in LA. So for you, especially with seeing where music is at right now, and when I say that, I mean even coming off the heels of 2020, of a pandemic, how do you view your role and your influence on people through songwriting and through music?
You know what? To be honest with you, I remind myself often that I am simply a conduit and a vessel. Songwriting in general, music in general, or the idea of creation, it is bigger than any one individual person. And as much as we would love to think that these ideas that we come up with are solely from us, it's like, nah, when you really do this, you understand. I can't tell you where lyrics come from. I can't tell you where melodies come from. I just know that it was nothing, and then it was something.
And then it was something.
And I know that I'm a conduit and a vessel for these things to flow through. So my responsibility is to be responsible with the words that I use. And when I'm writing songs for other artists and I'm helping them to tell their story, I have to do the best job I can at helping them communicate their story, which may not always line up with what Darius personally believes or stands for, but my job is to help them translate what they're trying to express. But when Darius Coleman puts out music, it's my responsibility to be responsible with the words I use, so that I can put more light out into the world, so that I can put more hope out into the world, so I can help share love with people who need it. Because that matters to me. And so I am very, very conscious about what I say, how I say it, even with my relationship to women and how I address women in songs. Like, I feel a responsibility to uplift and to celebrate women, as opposed to degrade and, objectify. And so as an artist, I think that all of us see it differently. Everybody's choices are going to be different in terms of what value system they have and what matters to them. And I'm no judge or jury. You know what I'm saying? Like, if whoever wants to put out, explicit songs, there was one that came to my head, but I'm going to refrain from saying the one. But songs that are overtly sexualized or overtly just like violent or whatever, like, that's your choice. You know what I'm saying? You're writing and talking about your experience, and I can't take that away from you because it's yours. But for me, I just choose to be responsible with my words and careful with what I put out into the world, because music has power, words have power, and I just want to be very careful with that.
Got you. Well, listen, we got to get ready to let you go, back to your life of being a Grammy Award winning singer-songwriter out here in these streets, right?
Listen, stops. I literally stepped out. They hit me again and were like, "Yo, you got to do the interview." I'm like, "Oh crap!" I was in the middle of a session and doing some stuff. I was like, "Yo, hold on, y'all." I was like, "Let me go step out and do this interview real fast, and then I'll come back in and get to it." But I appreciate the opportunity to share my story, and I always want to give back as much as I can to my city. It helped create me, and helped make me the person that I am, based on how it influenced my taste in music, and the grit and the hustle and the grind of the Philadelphia spirit. So I had to hop on and take this opportunity to share some of my story with all my Philly people who show me so much love on the regular, including you, Sarita. So thank you for having me.
Absolutely, absolutely, and thank you for joining us. So we definitely gonna let you get back because we now know you're in a session. So we gotta go, y'all. But make sure you follow Darius Coleman across social media over on Instagram, Darius Coleman Music. That's Darius Coleman, Darius Coleman Music over on Instagram. Stay connected with him on this journey. I know I'll say this is the first Grammy. We look forward to all the others that will follow after this.
You are ready.
Okay. No, but listen, thank you, love. And with that, we're going to go ahead and take a quick break. Darius is going to go ahead back to Grammy Award-winning lifestyle out here in these streets. We're going to get back to saving space for our next guest. But Darius, much love and appreciation to you.
Thank you so much. God bless. Stay well, everybody.
You too. All right, y'all. Stay tuned. You're listening to Safe Space on WURD Radio 96.1 FM 900 AM. I'm your host, Sincerely Sarita, and we'll be back after these messages.
What's up, everyone? I know you know the word. No, not the station, but this word. J-O-B, that is. And our friends at Amoroso's Baking Company are hiring right now. Amoroso's has been baking the delicious bread in our community for over 100 years, and they want you to join their team today. The old and the young love Amoroso's, and they are hiring right now. Check it out. They offer fair pay and provide health, dental, and prescription plans after 90 days employment. Call 856-754-0355 or visit amorososbaking.com for details.
WURD Radio celebrates Women's History Month with the 2021 Level Up Contest. Join us as we embark on a 3-city contest that will highlight Black women-owned businesses who are making a difference in their communities. You can nominate yourself or your favorite Black woman-owned business and enter to win a marketing campaign valued at $5,000. Level Up is a joint production of WURD Radio in Philadelphia, WVON in Chicago, and KJLH in Los Angeles. These 3 Black-owned stations are joining forces to host a historic, interactive, and multimedia contest spotlighting Black women-owned businesses in Philly, Chicago, and Los Angeles. The deadline for submissions is March 15th. Philadelphia finalists will be featured in a special 2-hour live on-air pitch party on March 31st, where the Philadelphia winner will be selected. Go to wordradio.com and click on the Level Up banner for more information or to nominate yourself or a Black woman-owned business you love. The 2021 Level Up contest is sponsored by Comcast, Bank of America, PECO, Keystone First, Thomas Jefferson University, and Jefferson Health.
Remember the last time your family visited the forest? It's a place of wonder and imagination for the whole family, where stories come to life, and it's closer than you think. Ready to plan your next visit? Make the forest part of your story today at a local park near you, or find one at discovertheforest.org. Brought to you by the United States Forest Service and the Ad Council.
Clark Roofing Company has over 30 years of quality roofing experience, providing exceptional customer service, honesty, and professionalism. Clark Roofing is a second-generation master roofer, installing top-quality roofing systems for commercial and residential properties across the tri-state area. For fast, dependable service, call 215-365-ROOF. That's 215-365-7663.
We do all we can to ensure our kids are happy, healthy, safe, and strong. Having high-quality, low-cost health insurance helps make that possible. With CHIP, your child can have medical, dental, eye care, and more for free or low cost. Whether you're self-employed, unemployed, or your employee benefits are just too expensive, CHIP is there for you to help your child be strong. CHIP Strong. Apply or renew today at 800-986-KIDS or go to chipcoverspakids.com.
Paid for with Pennsylvania taxpayer dollars.
This is WURD Radio, 96.1 FM and 900 AM WURD Philadelphia. Black Talk Media.
You are back listening to Safe Space on WURD Radio 96.1 FM 900 AM. It is Motivation Monday, so I want to know what's motivating you this week. Call in 215-634-8065. You can also call in toll free 866-361-0900. I want to go to the phone lines really quick before we welcome our next guest. I believe we have Jacob on line one who has been patiently waiting. Jacob, thank you so much for choosing a safe space with us this Monday, this happy Monday. How are you, and what's on your mind?
I'm blessed, but I'm going to make it quick because you got guests. But, this show, I mean, you and Kelly, y'all ripping it up at night. I'm just saying, on a real tip, as an OG African-American Muslim, I told Kayla when you was talking her age, I got socks older than she is, and that youngness that y'all have, and that story that the brother from Philly just won the Grammy, God bless him. I'm telling you, what's motivating me tonight is this show, on a real tip. Because as an old head, I see y'all, the young, understanding your spot in this whole scheme of things. And that's to get a piece of this American pie that contract told us about, that we fought for from the first to now, where we stand. And we're going to get our portion, and that higher power, he talked about that higher power. And, I look at Kanye a little different now. Even though I used to say he voted for Trump and he's bipolar and this and that, he's a little strange. But what God is using him for is just what that young man explained. Because what people are trying to do to us for no reason at all, because they're racist, we'll say, in this country today, we need that armor, that's talked about in Scripture, that you need that higher power with you, because the devil himself is against you. Because anything that wicked, you can't call it nothing but the devil. And I ain't talking about no color. I'm talking about a spirit that's not human. But anyway, quickly, you got to guess. Tomorrow going to be an excellent program. I already talked to Sister, so I'll be able to listen tomorrow. But I just want to let you know, you were real, I'll call it grown about that, because I heard how you reeled my brother in last week, right? Because you didn't want to go there, because you're growner than that. And that was you're really sincere. So sincerely, Sarita, you're really sincere. And I'm telling you, God is with us. God is with y'all. And don't let, as I was the band leader for Ain't No Stopping Us Now, Don't let nothing stop y'all now, okay?
Mm.
But that's what motivates me right up and through here. Thank you.
Ooh, thank you, Jacob. You know, it's God be knowing what God be doing. I'm not just, oh man. You know, I saw this clip of Tiffany Haddish learning that she had won a Grammy for her her comedy album Black Bat Mitzvah, and in it, you just see this moment, right? She has the earpiece in, and the producer is speaking to her, and she's talking about, you know, whatever, and how she's been nominated before in the past for whatever, and that moment where the producer is informing her, right, this is how she's learning that she has won a Grammy, that she's, you know, made this new chapter of history, because prior to her winning this, there had not been a Black woman who won in that category. I think since, like, was it 1983 or 86? 86. And it was Whoopi Goldberg, who she is, like, that has now since developed a friendship with, but totally admired, looked up to, all of those great things. And she starts to cry while she's on set, like asking, like, are you serious? Are you, like, is this for real? You're telling me I won this? And the producer is saying, you know, yes, you did this. And she goes on to share a bit with the kids, actually, who are on set, because I think she's doing some work with Kids Say the Darndest Things with that show. And so there were two young Black girls on set. And so she decided to use that moment of learning that she won a Grammy as an opportunity to share a bit about the road to get to that point. And I believe both of them, in some regard, had some aspirations of, like, becoming president or vice president, something like that. And so she was sharing, like, you know, how sometimes you go on the journey, you go through these rough patches and you doubt yourself and all of these other things. And so when you have a moment like what she was experiencing, it can be very moving, very emotional. And for me to have Jacob call in and share what he just did is timely, and God knowing how God be gotten, because I recognize that what Kayla J and I do on Safe Space is, in its own way, very unique, and with it sometimes feels like we're in, and I'm not speaking for her, I'm speaking for myself, it can feel a bit like being in uncharted territory, but also knowing that there are so many who came before us, radio or otherwise, who trailblazed, who showed up as their full authentic selves and let that speak for itself, and kept their intentions and their prayers and their everything focused on being a vessel, as Darius shared, and recognizing that whatever they're doing, like, right, that work, it's bigger than them. And I do think I can speak for Kayla J and I in this moment, that there is a recognition and understanding and a valuing of the fact that when we show up here Monday through Thursday from 7 to 9 p.m., we recognize this thing is bigger than us, right? That everything we're doing in some way, shape, or form is bigger than us. And so just this moment of Jacob being able to speak to that and to sow a seed of encouragement, I don't take that lightly, because there have been days where I know I've questioned myself, or I don't even want to say doubted, but just questioned myself as to whether did I do my best? How could we have improved that broadcast? How can we How, you know, just always trying to think about how we can make this thing bigger, better, run more efficiently, or whatever else the case may be. And of course, trying to do all this in the midst of a pandemic and everything else. But I'm proud of what we do and how we show up, and the fact that we remain committed to telling the stories and to saving space for us. For when I say us, I mean our community. I mean the work that we do day in and day out. And as I get ready to welcome my next guest, I think it just once again reaffirms that God is God, and doing so with purpose, like not just an individual, like our individual purposes, but like bigger picture, recognizing that it's all bigger than any one person. And so Joanna Jane is out this week, but we're going to keep the livelihood vibes flowing by way of, sharing a bit about an internship opportunity with On the Scene magazine. And so our next guest, Safia Warren Moore, who is publisher and editor of On the Scene, joins us to talk a bit about that and her journey, right? And opening doors and, leveling up, because shout out to our Level Up contest that's happening right now. Head to wordradio.com, shameless plug. But in leveling up, not only in her journey, her career, but in seeking to help others do the same, in one way being through internships. So Love, hey girl, hey, how you doing?
I'm good. How are you? How are you this evening?
My spirit is filled and thankful. So tell folks who may be meeting you for the first time a little bit about who you are and what you do.
Sure, absolutely. So I'm Safia Warren Moore, and I am the editor and publisher of On the Scene magazine. And On the Scene magazine is a positive platform, digital magazine dedicated to enlightening, enriching, and as you said, it's motivation. So motivating our community. It's Motivation Monday. So we're dedicated to motivating our community. I'm a fourth generation editor and publisher. So I've literally grown up in this. My father was the editor and publisher of the Philadelphia New Observer newspaper. His father was the editor and publisher of the Washington New Observer, and his father was the editor and publisher of the Washington New Observer as well, which were all publications which were dedicated to the enrichment, the enlightenment, and the innovation of our people. So it's very near and dear and true and in my blood to continue the legacy and make sure that I convey the messages that are necessary for our community.
Yeah. So I want to first touch on the shoulders that you stand on. I feel like we gotta pay homage. We gotta recognize that.
Absolutely.
If I'm not mistaken, the Philadelphia New Observer was published from like 1979 to 2008. Correct me.
So
in love.
79, but yes, you're absolutely right. I think he was 23, so it was more like 75.
Okay.
But yep, you're absolutely right. But you're absolutely right. You're absolutely right.
Yeah. So for you, what did you learn from watching your father kind of lay that or build upon, I should say, not even lay, because he was third generation. So build upon that foundation in terms of, telling our stories, and even in the name, observing how we were progressing and even, looking at the challenges that we faced.
I mean, I literally learned everything I know from my father. But the first thing I learned from him was that it was important for us to, since we had the capacity to, was to help through information. That was the one thing he always talked about. There's a lot of different ways that you can help people. All the time, you may not be able to offer them the financial help that they may need, but you may be able to point them in the right direction and give them the resources that they need. So information is really key, and it's something that I learned from my father as a child. So I think that was the most important thing that I could have learned, because it's the most important thing that can get us. And one of my sayings is, I'm trying to get where I'm not, right? So I think having education, or not even education, but having the knowledge and information, it gets us to a place where we want to aspire to be and can live.
Yeah. So tell us a little bit, Safia, about On the Scene magazine. And it's funny because, like, when I learned about On the Scene, the first thing I I thought about was like my early years of Sincerely Sarita, and my hashtag I used was SS on the scene. And I remember very vividly just always out in these streets, okay, covering events, doing interviews, just really trying to keep a pulse on what was happening in the city. So I know the level of energy that it takes to be on the scene and covering it. So salute to you and the team. But yeah, tell us a little bit about On the Scene magazine.
So it's interesting you said that because I didn't know that. So, you know, great minds think alike because I had no idea that was your head.
Yes.
So salute to you for that. Because when I was coming up with the idea of the name, I'm not even going to lie, I was thinking about my dad. And I was like, well, how can I play on Observer, right? Like you see everything, you know, you're there. And it just had this ring On the Scene magazine. And for me, again, it was really important to me that we convey messages of positivity because we're inundated with negativity, right? Everywhere we go, not only in media, but just in our everyday lives. So it was really important for me to make sure that we highlight positive messages and positive images. And so that's where I wanted to be on the scene with because there's a lot of positive things going on. There's a lot of enlightening things going on, but people don't know about it. So, and I want to salute Darius Coleman for what he said about the responsibility and how he charges himself with the responsibility to choose his words and his actions very wisely. And that's something that I do as well. So I really, that resonated with me. So I just wanted to salute him and congratulate him on his award as well. But that's kind of what On the Scene is about. On the Scene is about conveying positive messages. We have everything from what we say is from education to entertainment. We call it edutainment, just all from a positive perspective. And I also say I give the people what they want with mixed with what they need, you know, because we have the things that's resourceful, like the internship that I like to speak about. But then we have some entertaining stories as well. But also which highlight information like the Reform Alliance and how Meek Mills and a lot of entertainers are really putting their ground and the work in to make some change in that regard. So we have a lot of different interesting information and topics.
Yeah. So, I mean, I know you've shared quite a bit of your journey and your family's legacy and work around keeping folks informed, educated, inspired, all of that good stuff, entertained. Can you talk a bit about your own journey as a publisher and even you know, like journalist for
Sure.
you? You know what I mean? Like what has all of that entailed? Because even as you hold down On the Scene magazine, like you still out here working and building and doing all these other things. So
Right.
Can you talk a bit about that?
Absolutely. So there are two people who come to my mind immediately who I learned in the world of journalism, who taught me almost everything that I know, and that is Helen Blue. I love Helen Blue, also known as Samaya Shakur, and also rest in peace to James G. Spady. Spady and Helen Blue taught me a lot about journalism. They taught me about getting the story. They taught me about not just getting the headline, but getting to the deeper root of the story, to getting all sides of the story, speaking to more than one person. It's really, it's a whole art to journalism, which I'm sure you know about. It's just a whole art of how to get the message and convey the message in our perspective, from our eyes, right? Because you can see the same story can be told in numerous ways. So it's important to capture it in a meaningful way that is beneficial for the reader, for our reader. So I think that's what I'm charged with conveying truthful, fact of the matter information that is enlightening and resourceful. I think that's what I charge myself with.
So if I'm not mistaken, you are a fellow TU alum?
TU? Yes.
TU? Okay. All right. Just wanted to make sure I won't roll up heavy. But yeah, TU. Shout out to my Temple folk. Yeah. So if I got my info correct, because I was like, let me make sure.
Girl, you got
I
it.
show
Right,
up.
I'm
Okay. I want to make sure I show up 100% correct.
Absolutely.
But yes, you attended Temple. focused on accounting. Is
I
that correct?
did.
Focused on
I
accounting.
did. So I grew up with my dad's newspaper, so I was always interested in the business aspect of it. So I went to the Fox School of Business. I have an accounting degree from there. I also went on to get my MBA as well because I was so intrigued with the business aspect of it, and I thought that that was really necessary for me to do. So, yep, so
Yeah.
I'm a Fox School of Business alum.
Yeah. So in learning more about your journey, like curious to know, especially on Women's History during Women's History Month, like have there ever been moments where where folks, because sometimes it'll happen, but where folks will look at your trajectory or look at your history and say, all right, you went to Temple for accounting. Your dad had this publication 3 generations in. By the time you're building upon it, it's four generations in. Has there ever been those moments where you were challenged in terms of like, are you a journalist, or is this real, or are you, you know what I mean? Like, and if so, how did you deal with that? How did you navigate that and stand in your truth and stand rooted?
Sure, absolutely. I think I was challenged for that just by right because a lot of people feel like things are inherited. And I'm here to say that I've built everything that I have from my own. I'm thankful and blessed to have my father as a consultant. He definitely guides me in a lot of direction. But definitely as a woman, I have a brother, and a lot of people thought that my brother would probably be groomed to be in this position. So I had to face that challenge of just the gender role. And then with having the background of the business background, of course. But what I would also come with is that all the time that I had the business background and was working the business, I was always writing. Again, that's why I was salute to Helen Shakur, Helen Blue, and James Spady, because I always wrote. I always had pieces to show. And even in my professional career, I always was charged with writing any documentation that was necessary. I was always charged with writing that in the corporate world. So I think that it was just a show and prove. For me, it's not really much that I can say. I can just show you. I can show you better than I can tell you. And so that's how I validate myself. And I think that one thing that I learned is to be consistent and persistent. I think those are 2 things that I learned that were really important for me as well to make that mark.
Yeah. So I want to make sure we, of course, touch a bit on an internship opportunity that On the Scene magazine has, and there's been growing dialogue or discourse around internships versus apprenticeships and paid versus not paid. That just is what it is at this point, right? And trying to pinpoint at what point we should be shifting from one to the other. But what I do know at this point is that you all have an opportunity available. So tell us a little bit about that internship and what it all entails.
Sure, absolutely. So we have an amazing opportunity for journalists, an internship, for a contributing writer internship. It's a 3-month period, although as you mentioned, it's not paid. However, if the opportunity fits for credit, we definitely will offer credits for the university. And it's also the opportunity to, after the internship is completed, there is an opportunity for a paid position with our organization, with On the Scene magazine. The internship, it consists of writing a weekly piece for our magazine, which again we mentioned is a positive platform, and it can be on an array of topics, again from education to entertainment, finance, sports, fashion, travel. I mean, we have an array. It's a lifestyle magazine that's dedicated to positivity. So I think that it's an amazing opportunity for people to also build their portfolio, to get some experience, to network. We come across a lot of people. So a lot of people, I think, when you think about paid versus not paid, you have to think about what can you gain from a situation or relationship. It's not necessarily always initially financial, right? So we just have to think about the benefits and disadvantages for ourselves. But I think this is an amazing opportunity for a writer to come on board to show us and to show the world, because our reach has been global. We've reached other countries. So this is an amazing opportunity for a writer to just show us what they have. We're on onthescenemagazine.com. You can go to the site there. You can reach me there. My email is there. It's direct linked for us. All we're asking is for 2 writing samples and a reference. So yeah, I would love to see you guys on the scene. Like to see a
You know what? I'm so glad that you spoke to the translation of value, right? Because it may not be monetary, but and this is something that Ernest Owens of Philadelphia Magazine and I were discussing before. Sometimes that value is in college credits, okay, because that costs money. So the fact that you all, even offer that as part of the internship is that you can get this can qualify as part of your college credits. You all are ready and poised to be able to provide that. I think is super important because it's like, all right, folks are giving their time, their skills, their talent. You all are giving an opportunity and a way for those talents and skills to be developed. And so it can very much be a win-win for someone who's ready to put in work, right, and ready to be on the scene and to do that. And just so we clear, y'all, it's work. Okay. I've been there, done that. It is work. And you have to recognize that you are building not only building your resume, but you're building a part of your legacy. And it's not just your legacy attached to it. This is, at least for On the Scene magazine, 4 generations of legacy attached to the work that is being put out. So again, Safia, let folks know, for those who may be interested or want to pass along this information to college students that they may know, how they can go about applying for this internship with On the Scene magazine. Just want to make sure we run it back.
Absolutely. I appreciate that. Absolutely. And you can directly contact me at S as in Safia Warren at onthescenemagazine.com. There's also a tab on our site for writers at onthescenemagazine.com. But if you go to our site, which is onthescenemagazine.com, there are links that will direct you. It'll get directly to me, and that's how we will get you on the scene.
Got you. So there we have it. And we got to get ready to let you go, but I'm pretty sure we'll be welcoming you back.
There's just one thing I wanted to say. It's really important that we just, again, speak from our narratives and our eyes and our own voices. And I do have merchandise that says that the Black press is the voice of Black America. And they can also find it on the same site, because it's important that we speak or we tell our own stories and our own voices. So I just wanted to mention that as well.
Yeah, real quick though, plug it though. Because you're wearing the sweatshirt, so let them know. Let them see a little bit for those who tuned in on WURD TV. Say it with your chest, because it's on the chest right there.
So, and this was my grandfather saying, and I found his shirt from the 70s from way back, and it was just really important to me. It kind of made my hair stand up when I saw it, and so I made sure that, I brought it back to life, and that now everyone can make sure we convey that message too.
Yes. And so can they access or purchase that on onthescenemagazine.com?
Absolutely. onthescenemagazine.com/store. It's right there.
One-stop shop. I like that. That simplifies and all that. Okay, so now you all know where you can go to not only apply for the internship or send your folks to apply for the internship, where you can go to check out some of the latest articles as far as lifestyle and music, whatever else it may be is concerned, and also where you can, support on the merch front, the Black press. onthescenemagazine.com. And with that said, Safia Warren Moore, publisher and editor of On the Scene magazine, thank you so much for choosing to save space with us today. Real quick, social media, where should folks follow at?
Yes, absolutely. So it's On the Scene magazine for Facebook, and on Instagram, I got hacked. So it's still On the Scene magazine, but there's some underscores. On_the_scene _scene_. But if you put it on the scene magazine, I promise you it's going to come up anyway.
It'll pop up. Yep, it will. And hey, and may the hackers never prosper. May the hackers never prosper, because they be trying, y'all. It's real out in these digital streets, okay? You got to fight to protect your brand and everything. It's real, y'all.
Anyway. I knew I was doing something in the right way. I was just going in the right direction. If they wanted to try to hush me up.
Okay. All right. No, listen, thank you so much, love, for choosing a safe space with us. And with that said, we're going to go ahead and take a quick break. We got to let Safia get back to being on the scene, doing what she does best, and make sure you all not only apply for that internship, if it applies to you or someone you know, at onthescenemagazine.com, but also check out wordworks.com, because, you know, we all about your livelihood and leveling that up, okay? And when you go to wordworks.com, you can also click the big splashy banner that says Level Up Contest and nominate a Black woman-owned business, entrepreneur, innovator that you know, love, and that you think should be celebrated in honor of Women's History Month. So make sure you do that, okay? And with that said, going to break. You're listening to Safe Space on WURD Radio 96.1 FM, 900 AM. I'm your host, Sincerely Sarita, and we'll be back after these messages.
WURD Radio celebrates Women's History Month with the 2021 Level Up Contest. Join us as we embark on a 3-city contest that will highlight Black women-owned businesses who are making a difference in their communities. You can nominate yourself or your favorite Black woman-owned business and enter to win a marketing campaign valued at $5,000. Level Up is a joint production of WURD Radio in Philadelphia, WVON in Chicago, and KJLH in Los Angeles. These 3 Black-owned stations are joining forces to host a historic, interactive, and multimedia contest spotlighting Black women-owned businesses in Philly, Chicago, and Los Angeles. The deadline for submissions is March 15th. Philadelphia finalists will be featured in a special 2-hour live on-air pitch party on March 31st, where the Philadelphia winner will be selected. Go to wordradio.com and click on the Level Up banner for more information or to nominate yourself or a Black woman-owned business you love. The 2021 Level Up contest is sponsored by Comcast, Bank of America, PECO, Keystone First, Thomas Jefferson University, and Jefferson Health.
The WURD Radio newsletter, keeping you informed, engaged, and connected. Sign up by visiting wordradio.com. Scroll to the bottom of the page and type your email address under Connect with Us. You'll receive the latest information on WURD Radio, messages from our president and CEO, Sarah Lomax Reese, exclusive articles and multimedia content, and resources. Stay informed with the WURD Radio newsletter.
COVID-19 has highlighted the need for digital equity and internet adoption programs. Comcast's Internet Essentials program is designed to connect families to low-cost, high-speed internet and laptops so students can be ready for anything. Since 2011, Comcast has connected 4 million students from low-income families to the internet through its Internet Essentials program. Learn more about how Internet Essentials is connecting students.
It's Women's History Month, and we want to honor Black women authors by helping you level up and read up. Join the Forward movement and get a free copy of a book from one of the most influential Black women today. For a limited time, you can add The Little Book of Big Lies by Tina Lifford, She Came to Slay by Erica Dunbar, Sing Unburied Sing, a novel by Jesmyn Ward, or Acts of Faith by Iyanla Vanzant to your reading collection. Level up and read up. Go to wordradio.com/join now to join or renew your Forward membership and get your free book today.
The Black Words Book Club. WURD Radio's new monthly conversation on books that explore the African American experience through social, economic, and environmental justice issues. Tune in the second Tuesday of every month on Evening Words with Nick Taliaferro, 4 p.m. till 7 p.m. For April, WURD Radio is partnering with the Free Library of Philadelphia and showcasing their pick for its annual citywide reading program, One Book, One Philadelphia, entitled The Tradition by Jericho Brown. Be sure to listen live, as Nick Taliaferro will hold a contest for a giveaway book bundle that consists of 4 titles from Kensington's Dafina's Authors of Color's newest release. Don't miss it, Tuesday, April 13th on Evening Words with Nick Taliaferro. Attention for WURD members. Get your copy and receive a 20% discount when you purchase at Harriet's Bookstore or Hakeem's Bookstore. For more information on the Black Words Book Club, visit wordradio.com. The Black Words Book Club is sponsored by Dafina. Dafina is an imprint of Kensington Publishing Corporation, America's independent publisher, concentrating on authors of color. Save Space with Sincerely Sarita. Right now on WURD Radio. 96.1 FM and 900 AM WURD. Independent Black Media.
And it is just about time for us to get out of here, but I want to make sure we get our last caller in. I believe we have Spread Love on the line. Spread Love, are you there? And if so, how are you? Thank you for choosing to save space with us today. What's on your mind?
God bless. Empress Sincerely Sarita, give God the glory, of course. How are you?
Listen, blessed, exactly as you said.
Well, love and give thanks. Empress Kayla J doing a great job. All the WRD family, you know our hearts are with the suffering. Everyone working to make it better.
Mm-hmm.
For time's sake, I'll keep it brief. But I just want to say earlier, well, I'll say now, thank you for another inspirational show. It's truly appreciated. And also, remember earlier when you said you ain't want to say doubt?
Yes.
Now, me, I'm not telling you what to do or what did I know more than anyone else, but I'll say, go on, say doubt. Because don't it say, in our weaknesses, God's made perfect? And then, look at his son, who is the one. See, I like when you say God begotten, because then you made me think of the only begotten, son of our Father, in the garden. Pop, I ain't built for this. Can we stop? Nevertheless, thy will be done, not mine own.
Yep.
If he going to doubt, hey, listen, and you know what struck me? You know me. I be trying to be on point. All of that got to let go this past Friday, and I made it home safe, give God the glory. And you know what? I woke up that Saturday, struck me what I've been needed to learn. Jah Almighty got us. Love him, and he got you.
Yep. Amen. Amen.
All right.
Amen.
I was just going to co-sign that, baby. You can doubt all you want. And then once y'all work it out, you can't front. More love.
Okay. Come through with the bars. Come through with the bars right there like that. Oh my gosh. No, this show is pure in case you have never experienced it before. But I get to thankfully experience it every Monday through Thursday from 7 to 9 p.m. Just how amazing God is, and how powerful the act of choosing a safe space together and choosing to be transparent and to be vulnerable, and to also be strong, because vulnerability is strength too. How powerful all of that can be. And I do not take it for granted that from our guest to our listeners, right, our WURD fam, to our producer, to our host, like across the board, every time we show up to save space together, we do so, at least I've come to believe, with the intention of empathizing, empowering, and evolving. Right? Not just as individuals, but as a collective. And I think that's something really powerful. I think it's something very radical in its own way, very revolutionary in these times. And I don't take that for granted. So in the spirit of spread love, yes, there have been times when I do doubt, What is happening? Am I getting this right? Are we doing this right? Are we doing this as best as we can? But every time that we link up, and when I say we, I mean us, right? Like you, me, Kayla J. It's just confirmation that we are. And I pray before I get on the show, before I get on air every day, God, open the ears, the eyes, the hearts, the minds of anyone who is supposed to receive the message that you have for them today. I'm a vessel. That's it. Kayla J is a vessel. That's it. Use us greatly. And I pray that God does the same for you as well. So I appreciate everyone who has tuned in over on WURD TV. And of course, across all media platforms, make sure that you follow WURD across all social media platforms at onWURD over on Facebook, at onWURD over on Instagram and YouTube. I am on IG and Facebook at Sincerely Sarita, SYREETA, Kayla J at KALAJ_music nerd. Thank you so much to our guests, Darius Coleman and Sophia Warren Moore, for joining us today and making our show just that much more awesome. Keep your dials locked to 96.1 FM, 900 AM. Up next is Keeping It Real with the Reverend Al Sharpton. We're right back here tomorrow, 7 to 9 p.m. for another edition of Save Space. But until then, you already know the deal. Remember to taste your words before you feed them to someone else. And always, always, always empathize, empower, and evolve. Peace.
You can't, baby. You can't, baby. Who can save me? Know that you can't, baby. You could, baby. We'll be riding, trying to conquer the world, but darling, you can't change it. You can't change it. Riding on, you know that you can't last it.